transactions and the transaction manager in Hibernate. Here you can see distributed transactions and the transaction manager. A distributed transaction is a transaction that accesses and updates data on two or more networked resources. These resources could consist of several different RDBMS housed on a single server, for example Oracle, SQL Server, and Sybase, or they could include several instances of a single type of database residing on a number of different servers. In any case, a distributed transaction involves coordination among the various resource managers. This coordination is the function of the transaction manager. The transaction manager is responsible for making the final decision either to commit or roll back any distributed transaction. A commit decision should lead to a successful transaction. Rollback leaves the data in the database unaltered. JTA specifies standard Java interface between the transaction manager and the other components in the distributed transaction: the application server, and the resource managers. This relationship is illustrated in this diagram. The numbered boxes around the transaction manager correspond to the three interface portions of JTA. 1. User transaction. The javax.transaction.userTransaction interface provides the application the ability to control transaction boundaries programmatically. The javax.transaction.userTransaction method starts a global transaction and associate the transaction with the calling thread. The two transaction manager. The javax.transaction.transaction manager interface allows the application server to control transaction boundaries on behalf of the application being managed. Number 3, XA resource. The java.transaction.xa resource interface is a Java mapping of the industry standard XA interface based on the XOpen CAE specification. Distributed transaction processing, the Java XA specification. Notice that the critical link is support of the XA resource interface by the JDBC driver. The JDBC driver must support both normal JDBC interactions through the application or the application server, as well as the XA resource portion of JTA. Data Direct Connect for JDBC drivers provide the support. Developers of code at the application level should not be concerned about the details of distribution transaction management. This is the job of the distributed transaction infrastructure, the application server, the transaction manager, and the JDBC driver. The only caveat for application code is that it should not invoke method that would affect boundaries of the transaction while the connection is the scope of distributed transaction. Specifically, an application should not call the connection methods uh, commit rollback and set auto commit true, because they would interfere with the infrastructure's management of the distributed transaction. Here you can see in JTA, Java application is here, then application service here below, JDBC. driver manager is there, and below that JDBC driver, and is connect and JTA connected to the database here. And the Java application is connected to transaction manager and JTA here. The one is user transaction, and 2 is transaction manager, and 3 is XA resource. Now this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for watching it.